The scene opens with a giant American flag waving gently. The flag is illuminated by the warm, golden light of the sunrise. This creates a visually striking and patriotic image. The camera then moves upward in a smooth cinematic motion. This reveals an ancient map of the United States, glowing with light. The combination of the flag and the map evokes themes of history and national identity. Native American tribes inhabit diverse landscapes across North America. These landscapes include forests, rivers, mountains, and Great Plains. Tribal families live in camps, maintaining traditional ways of life. They wear traditional clothing, reflecting their cultural heritage and identity. European ships arrive on the American coast, marking the beginning of colonization. Colonists step onto the land with hope and determination to establish a new life. Early settlements begin to form, characterized by simple wooden houses. These settlements foster a sense of community as colonists work together to build their homes and lives. Colonists gathered to discuss their grievances against British taxation policies. The discussions took place in taverns, which served as community hubs. The colonists' emotional tension grew as they voiced their discontent. A key slogan emerged: "No taxation without representation." This slogan encapsulated the colonists' demand for political voice. George Washington led colonial troops through snowy landscapes. Washington was on horseback, guiding his soldiers forward. The colonial flag moved, symbolizing their cause. Soldiers marched with determination despite harsh conditions. Their unity and bravery were evident in their resolve. The scene highlights the perseverance of the colonial troops. The Constitutional Convention took place in 1787. Key figures such as George Washington and Benjamin Franklin participated. The main activity was the signing of the Constitution. Warm, golden light filled the room during the signing. Westward expansion involved traversing diverse terrains such as mountains, deserts, and plains. Pioneers used wagons for transportation across these challenging landscapes. Infrastructure development included building railroads to facilitate movement. Native Americans observed these developments from vantage points like cliffs. The Emancipation Proclamation is symbolized as a beacon of hope and unity. It represents a pivotal moment in history, addressing the issue of slavery. The soft golden backlight signifies the promise of a brighter future. The division of armies in blue and gray reflects the conflict and disunity of the time. The mist suggests the uncertainty and challenges faced during this period. Factories are rapidly growing, indicating a surge in industrial production. Railroads are expanding, facilitating increased transportation and trade. Ships arrive, filled with immigrants, reflecting growing diversity and population. Cities are becoming more vibrant, illuminated at night. This urban growth signifies renewal and economic opportunity. Collectively, these factors contribute to a period of significant expansion and progress. Scenes depict symbolic imagery from World War I and World War II. These include soldiers marching, aircraft in flight, and naval vessels at sea. A stylized representation of D-Day is presented with reverence. The sequence culminates in the raising of the American flag in slow motion. The scene depicts Martin Luther King Jr. delivering a speech at the Lincoln Memorial. Peaceful marches symbolize the collective effort towards equality and justice. Rosa Parks on a bus represents a pivotal moment of resistance against segregation. Warm hues evoke a sense of hope and the emotional weight of the civil rights movement. Facial expressions convey the determination and resilience of individuals involved. The setting at the Lincoln Memorial underscores the historical significance of the events. The montage showcases a blend of modern technology and family life. Urban landscapes and space exploration highlight American progress. At night, the United States glows, resembling stars. A giant American flag, illuminated, symbolizes national pride. Prior to colonization, vast forests dominated much of the eastern United States. These forests were characterized by rich natural resources. They also supported a high level of biodiversity. These forests provided essential habitats for countless species. The pre-colonial landscape was significantly shaped by these extensive woodlands. The Great Plains were historically home to numerous Native American tribes. These tribes developed unique cultures, deeply connected to the land. A central aspect of their traditional way of life revolved around the bison. Bison provided food, clothing, shelter, and tools for survival. Tribes followed the migratory patterns of bison herds across the plains. This nomadic lifestyle shaped their social structures and spiritual beliefs. Early colonists heavily depended on agriculture for sustenance and trade. Farming was essential for growing crops to feed their families and communities. Maritime activities, such as fishing, were also crucial for survival. Fishing provided a valuable source of food and resources from the Atlantic coast. These activities shaped the initial economic landscape of the colonial era. The colonists' reliance on agriculture and maritime activities laid the foundation for future economic development. Colonial workshops were central to local economies. Craftspeople and artisans formed the backbone of these workshops. They produced a variety of goods to meet local demands. These goods contributed significantly to the colonial economy. Workshops provided employment and fostered skilled labor. The workshops supported trade and economic growth within the colonies. The Boston Tea Party was a pivotal event in the lead-up to the American Revolution. It was a direct act of protest by American colonists against British taxation policies. Colonists boarded British ships in Boston Harbor under the cover of night. They dumped chests of tea into the harbor to demonstrate their opposition to the Tea Act. The Tea Act was viewed as an unjust imposition of taxes without colonial representation. This act of defiance escalated tensions between Britain and its American colonies. The battles of Lexington and Concord represent the opening engagements of the American Revolutionary War. These battles involved skirmishes between colonial militia and British troops. The conflict began in Lexington, Massachusetts, on the 19th of April, 1775. British forces were en route to Concord to seize colonial arms and ammunition. The initial confrontation at Lexington resulted in casualties on both sides. The fighting escalated in Concord, marking a significant turning point in colonial British relations. The Declaration of Independence signing was a pivotal moment in American history. It took place inside Independence Hall, a location of great symbolic importance. The event was marked by solemnity, reflecting the gravity of the decision. The signing signified a formal declaration of independence from British rule. It represents the birth of a new nation founded on principles of self-governance. Valley Forge was the site of the Continental Army's winter encampment during the Revolutionary War. The winter of 1777 to 1778 was exceptionally harsh, with soldiers facing severe shortages of food and clothing. Conditions at Valley Forge were extremely challenging, leading to widespread disease and suffering among the troops. Despite the hardships, the soldiers demonstrated remarkable resilience and determination. Their commitment to the cause of independence remained unwavering throughout the difficult winter. Valley Forge symbolizes the perseverance and sacrifice of the Continental Army in their fight for freedom. The Battle of Yorktown was the concluding major battle of the American Revolutionary War. It was a decisive victory for the American and French forces. The battle led to the surrender of British forces under General Cornwallis. Yorktown marked a significant turning point in the war. The American victory at Yorktown paved the way for American independence. The surrender at Yorktown ultimately led to peace negotiations and the end of the Revolutionary War. The early U.S. government focused on establishing its foundational structure. Policy creation was a crucial aspect of the government's initial work. Debates were common as different viewpoints shaped the nation's course. Compromises were essential to reconcile diverse interests and forge consensus. These early efforts laid the groundwork for the future of the United States. The Louisiana Purchase refers to the United States' acquisition of a vast territory from France in 1803. This territory significantly expanded the size of the United States. The purchased land included territory that would eventually become all or part of 15 states. The acquisition doubled the size of the United States at the time. The Louisiana Purchase played a crucial role in westward expansion and the growth of the American economy. This expansion had significant implications for trade, agriculture, and the nation's geopolitical standing. The Oregon Trail presented significant challenges to settlers. Rough terrain was a constant obstacle for wagon trains. Settlers often faced scarce resources along the journey. These conditions tested the resilience and resourcefulness of pioneers. Survival depended on overcoming these hardships on the trail. The California Gold Rush was characterized by a rapid influx of people seeking fortune. This mass migration led to the swift development of boom towns. These towns were known for their fast growth and often chaotic environments. The Gold Rush significantly transformed California's demographics and economy. Southern plantations were large agricultural estates in the southern United States. These plantations relied heavily on the labor of enslaved African people. Enslaved individuals performed various tasks, including cultivating crops like cotton and tobacco. Plantation society was characterized by a rigid social hierarchy. This hierarchy placed plantation owners at the top and enslaved people at the bottom. The Underground Railroad was a network of secret routes and safe houses. It was used by enslaved African Americans to escape to freedom. The network extended from the southern slave states to free states in Canada. Abolitionists and sympathizers provided aid and shelter along the routes. Escaping slaves traveled at night, guided by the North Star and other signals. The Underground Railroad played a crucial role in the fight against slavery. Abolitionists convened to strategize the end of slavery. The meeting focused on activism as a key tool for change. Advocacy was discussed as a means to influence public opinion. Various approaches to abolition were debated and refined. Collaborative efforts were emphasized to strengthen the movement. The gathering aimed to coordinate actions towards emancipation. The Civil War battlefield serves as a potent symbol of national division. It represents the profound human cost of internal conflict. The setting highlights the tragic loss of life on both sides. It symbolizes the struggle for differing ideologies and ways of life. The battlefield embodies the enduring scars left on the nation's psyche. The Emancipation Proclamation was drafted by Abraham Lincoln. It was a significant executive order during the Civil War. The proclamation declared the freedom of slaves in Confederate territories. This action marked a crucial step towards abolishing slavery in the United States. The Reconstruction era followed the American Civil War in the South. It involved rebuilding infrastructure damaged during the war. Efforts focused on repairing roads, bridges, and buildings. A key aspect was integrating formerly enslaved people into society. This included granting citizenship and voting rights. Reconstruction aimed to transform the South economically and socially. Newly freed African Americans sought education as a pathway to opportunity. Schoolhouses became symbols of hope and advancement. Education represented a break from the constraints of the past. Literacy and learning were tools for empowerment and self-determination. Attending school signified a commitment to building a better future. Ellis Island was the primary immigration station in the United States. It processed millions of immigrants arriving to start a new life. Immigrants arrived with hopes and dreams for opportunity and freedom. The island symbolizes the immigrant experience and the American dream. Industrial factories saw significant growth in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. This period marked a pivotal era in industrial expansion and technological advancement. Factories became central to urbanization, drawing populations to urban centers. The concentration of factories in cities spurred economic and social changes. These factories represent a key phase in the development of modern industrial society. The women's suffrage movement was a decades-long fight for women's right to vote. It involved marches, protests, and advocacy efforts by women and their allies. Suffragists aimed to challenge the prevailing societal norms that denied women political participation. Key strategies included public demonstrations and lobbying political figures. The movement ultimately led to significant legislative changes granting women the right to vote. World War I, trench warfare, involved soldiers occupying extensive trench systems. These trenches were complex networks of ditches, dugouts, and fortifications. The conditions within the trenches were harsh, characterized by mud, disease, and constant danger. American soldiers, like others, faced significant challenges adapting to this environment. Trench warfare resulted in prolonged stalemates and heavy casualties on both sides. The attack on Pearl Harbor was a surprise military strike. The Imperial Japanese Navy Air Service conducted the attack on the 7th of December 1941. Pearl Harbor was a U.S. naval base near Honolulu, Hawaii. The attack aimed to cripple the U.S. Pacific Fleet. The event led to the United States declaring war on Japan and entering World War II. D-Day represents the Allied forces landing on the beaches of Normandy, France. The operation was a crucial turning point in World War II against Nazi Germany. American soldiers were among the Allied troops involved in the amphibious assault. The landings marked the start of the campaign to liberate Western Europe from German occupation. During World War II, many women entered the industrial workforce to fill labor shortages. These women took on roles traditionally held by men who were serving in the military. Factories producing war materials saw a significant increase in female employees. This shift challenged traditional gender roles and expanded opportunities for women. The image of Rosie the Riveter became a symbol of these working women and their contribution to the war effort. The civil rights movement involved widespread, peaceful protests. These protests aimed to achieve racial equality and justice for all. Advocacy played a central role in the civil rights movement. The protests sought to dismantle segregation and discrimination. A rocket launch symbolizes technological advancement and exploration. It represents a nation's capabilities in engineering and scientific innovation. Space launches are a key component of space exploration and research. They facilitate the deployment of satellites for communication and observation. Rocket launches also signify a country's ambition in the ongoing space race. Early computer labs represent a foundational stage in the evolution of digital technology. These labs facilitated initial exploration and development in computing. They provided a centralized environment for accessing and experimenting with nascent computer systems. Early labs played a crucial role in training the first generation of computer scientists and engineers. The development of computer labs marked a significant step towards the widespread adoption of digital technology. The Vietnam War protests were a series of demonstrations against the United States' involvement in the Vietnam War. These protests reflected deep social and political divisions within the country. Key issues included the war's human cost and its impact on American society. Protests often took place on college campuses and in major cities. They involved a diverse range of participants, from students to veterans. The anti-war movement significantly influenced public opinion and political discourse. The Watergate scandal was a major political scandal in the United States during the early 1970s. It began with a break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate Hotel. The scandal exposed abuses of power by the Nixon administration. It raised critical questions about government transparency and accountability. The fall of the Berlin Wall represents a pivotal moment in modern history. It symbolizes the end of the Cold War era and its associated divisions. The event signified a shift towards greater political and social unity. It marked a significant step in the reunification of Germany. This memorial is dedicated to the victims of the September 11 attacks. It serves as a place of remembrance and reflection. The memorial honors the memory of those who were lost. It also symbolizes the nation's resilience in the face of tragedy. The site provides a space for visitors to pay their respects. The classroom features a diverse group of students from various backgrounds. Students are actively engaged in learning and collaborative activities. The environment promotes inclusivity and mutual respect among students. This setting represents the evolving demographics and future potential of America. This hub is a central location for showcasing advancements in science and technology. It serves as a focal point for the latest technological innovations. The hub promotes the development and application of new scientific discoveries. It highlights progress and breakthroughs across various technological fields. Renewable energy farms are facilities dedicated to generating power from sustainable sources. These farms utilize resources that are naturally replenished, such as solar, wind, and geothermal energy. They represent a significant shift away from fossil fuels, which are finite and environmentally damaging. Renewable energy farms contribute to reducing carbon emissions and mitigating climate change. These farms often consist of large arrays of solar panels or wind turbines. They symbolize a commitment to sustainability and environmental protection. The montage showcases the multifaceted aspects of contemporary American existence. It emphasizes the rich diversity found within American society. The montage also highlights the spirit of innovation, driving progress in various fields. It captures the essence of community and social interactions. The overall theme reflects a dynamic and evolving American experience.